I'm just setting it to record. Okay, welcome everybody. There's not a lot of you, but I am so happy to see the ones who are here. My name is Leah Gregory, and I do want to say one thing before I turn it over to our executive director. I had originally planned to offer PDH for this, and unfortunately that is not going to happen. So I want you to know that unfortunately I cannot offer PDH, although I am going to talk about PDH later in the meeting and our plans going forward for that. So first of all, I would like to introduce Leslie Bednar, our executive director.
Thank you, Leah. Leah has a plan for everything, so I'm sure the question about PDHs will be resolved. Too sweet. So thank you to everybody who's here and to anyone else who watches this as a recording. This is our slow month. I see Tammy Krause on this call for our board. There is no board meeting in December, which is great because we're like, all right, this is like, we can kind of catch up with other projects and then get back to the business of board meeting again in January. The one thing that we are working on currently is you might have seen some notices or emails from some of our staff or in our newsletter that we are investigating an automatic materials handler. We have gotten really good response from members about participating in a working group to kind of take the steps through this with us as we discover what it can do, what it might do, and maybe also what it won't do for us so that we can make an informed decision and recommendation to the board. Also, the end of January is the time when we start working on our budget in earnest. Our board reviews the budget in April and then has to vote on it at the May meeting. So we back that whole process up of putting our budget together, and the budget is one of two primary components in our system area per capita grant, which is an annual application. So the other component is our operational plan. So that's why this is a really good time for a breather, because then we're going to hit it everything and get going, like the calendar starts over again in January for us. So that's all for me. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Hey, Leah, you're muted.
I do that every time, you guys. I'm sorry. So thank you so much, Leslie. I appreciate it. And now I would like to introduce Ellen Poppett, our associate director, and she is going to talk about certification, everybody's favorite time of the year.
I was just thinking about that when Leslie said it was a slow month, because when we get back after the holiday on Tuesday, January 3rd, the window will open for the annual certification. And I'm looking at the names of people here, and I don't think we have too many newbies. It will be the same online process as it has been before, the two parts of the traffic survey and the school and the annual certification. The certification only asks you to confirm that your district is compliant with the membership criteria as outlined in Illinois library law. There will be a couple extra questions for school districts that are going to be very similar to the questions you fielded last year, that you answered last year, mainly concerning staffing. And this is all in an effort to get better data on our schools and our school library programs for the Illinois library community. 2 years ago, we discovered that the data that was available was really horrible. And the certification is one way to work through that and try and get better data. So Leah will be handling the school certifications for all our school districts. So be prepared for emails and nags and all kinds of things like that. I did check with Carol Hogan Downing, our communications director. Our first newsletter of the new year will go out on January 4th. And in that newsletter, we'll have links and directions and all those kinds of things to guide you through the process. And as always, if you have any questions, you can call anybody in the membership team and we'll be happy to walk you through it. So that's it for certification until January.
Yes, in January, you will hear from us constantly, it will seem like. Let's see, we're going to welcome Dina Porter now, the Share Guru, who's going to talk to us about Share.
I hope everyone can hear me today. I have technology, myself and Zoom are not getting along very well today. So hopefully things go well during this meeting. But like Leah said, I am Dina Porter. I am the Share Administrative Services Supervisor, and I'm just going to quickly tell you a little bit about Share. So if you're not familiar with us, we are a collection of libraries in Central and Southern Illinois that have joined together to form the largest automation consortium in North America. We currently have 339 members at 468 locations, and that number actually just went up just last week with the addition of Freeburg High School. They will be joining us here shortly. The size of the consortium means that our patrons have access to almost 8.8 million items, which is kind of hard to comprehend, which the patrons or students in this case could order from the school library, their home computer, or even their mobile device, as all the kids these days have those. And we can have them delivered to the school library with IHLS delivery. In our fiscal year 2022, our patrons checked out almost 6.7 million items. Share also offers programs for our members, a couple of which are Kit and Caboodle. This is a way for Share library members to share kits. Members can build the kit and share them with other libraries. We have a cataloger that will catalog them for them. We pack them in these really neat bags, and they get delivered out just like our books do, that's borrowed through the system. Another program your library can opt into is the McNaughton Book Leasing Program. It's a first of a kind book leasing program for a consortium. It makes the McNaughton program accessible. Since it's scalable to libraries with a variety of budgets and needs, the program it includes an automated standing order style program for titles. There's a small plan where you get, I think it's like 5 books a month. And then the larger plan, I believe, is 10 per month. All the items come fully cataloged, processed. They include the barcodes, the spine labels. The price for each plan does include shipping to one of the Share hubs, and then we send it out to your library via delivery. This is such a wonderful program, especially for everybody's budget is so tight these days, and this just kind of opens things up even more for your library. Another library program that you can opt into is the Cloud Library for ebooks and e-audiobooks. Currently, I believe it's almost 200 of our Share libraries belong to the Cloud Library. It's a shared collection, and we provide access. I think the number is probably at 75,000, maybe a little more, of digital items. This program was originally funded by the eRead Illinois grant provided by the Illinois State Library, and we are dedicated to expanding these offerings for all library types. Whether you're a school library, public library, there is something for everyone in there. We also offer cataloging services, on-site or virtual training for circulation, cataloging, LEAP. If your library wants to make that change over to LEAP from Polaris, we can customize your library's pack page, language for your overdue notices. The list literally goes on and on and on what we can do for your library. Please visit the Share library website, the Share website at share.illinoisheartland.org. If you want to know any other further detailed information about the couple programs that I spoke about, or you can reach out to any library, any Share staff member. We're available by phone, by email. And then, I can answer any questions that you have about Polaris or Polaris settings. I will put my email in the chat, and I will also put the website, the Share website, in there as well. And I talk really fast, so if you need anything repeated, don't hesitate to let me know.
Are there any questions? I was able to follow you, Dina, so
Okay. Yeah,
chances are good. Everybody else could too.
I like my Zoom is, but I cannot can't turn my mute. I can't mute it now, so you might hear a little background noise until I can get myself muted. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce Dr. Carol Hogan Downey, and she is going to tell you about a very exciting new development that I think you guys are going to be some of the first to hear about here today. So take it away, Carol. We can't hear.
Sorry, I had my
Had your microphone up.
Yep. Thank you so much, Leah. All right. So I am really excited to announce, I kind of want a drum roll, but it's fine, that our new website is finally live. So you are the first outside of our actual company to see it. We've got lots of features. If you were there at Member Day, you got to see a little sneak peek about it. If you weren't there and you want to see that sneak peek, I'm clicking the slider here. You can click on this little hero slider here, and it will take you to a video where I explain a lot of stuff. It should be a lot more easy to navigate. Sorry, a lot easier to navigate. We have all of our services together here with membership or with certification in mind. I just clicked on the membership tab up here. And if you went down to membership requirements, if you can't find that link anywhere else, it's right here to get to annual certification. And we're going to have lots of fun stuff there. And eventually we will have under services, this is coming up very soon, under continuing education and consulting, we are going to have very soon the ability to book consultations with various members of different with different teams at IHLS. So you could book a consultation with Leah if you need to go over some school things, but also you could book one with my counterpart Shandy, the marketing administrator, and me to deal with some marketing or PR things, what have you. But we're going to have that up soon. You'll be able to use bookings. We're probably going to pilot it with one department first, and then in the early months of 2023, roll it out with other departments. And I think actually that's it. That's all I've got. So thank you so much, and I will turn it back over.
Thank you, Carol. I'm very excited about the website. I've been watching for it to go live. I think I've been hounding them like, is it live? Is it live? Because it's been live internally for this week. And I've been like, I keep bugging them. So I'm excited about that. And one of the things that I'm hoping that we are going to feature on the new website, it would have gone on the old website last year, but I didn't think of it. We are going to have like a little certification tips and troubleshooting website, so that when you go to do your certification, a lot of you I know do it when you can get around to it, which may be at 4 or 5 at night, and then we may not be here to answer your questions. So we're going to have some links to some things that will hopefully be helpful to you as you begin certification, and especially in answering those questions. If any of you were at Member Day, or if you attended the IHL conference, you may have heard the presentation on the school data project that Jeanette Durecki and Grant Halter are heading up. I presented with them at IHL, and then they presented at Member Day. Those questions that Ellen mentioned are feeding that data project. And I know a lot of people, when they saw that certification last year, with those new questions, they were very confused by it. So that's what that is for. And we are hopefully going to have a guide that will make it easier for you to answer. So the next thing I want to talk about is professional development hours, because that is a huge, important thing to every school librarian, every teacher, but school librarians specifically is what I'm talking about here. The way PDH works for us at the moment is that we are not a provider of PDH ourselves. Our organization is not a provider. So we have to basically contract with somebody to provide PDH. And currently we're doing that with the Illinois State Library. And that means that I have to submit anything that I want to offer PDH for, and it has to be approved. And you are all aware that I was able to provide PDH for Member Day. So I was trying to get PDH for this session, and unfortunately it was not approved. So at this moment, I don't have control over that. So as Leslie said, though, I have a plan. I do have a plan, and I've been talking to a lot of different people about PDH and how we can make this available for our members, because I know that it's very important to you. Because actually, I still have a teaching certificate, and it's very important to me because for, I don't know, the foreseeable future, I want to keep my teaching license current. So there are two things that I am working on at the moment. The first one is to partner with the Madison County Regional Office of Education. And I've been talking to their professional development, I don't know what her official title is, but we are going to partner with the area. So she is a county administrator, and then she works with several other regional offices of education in a, like, I think she said a 5-county area. So we are going to try to provide some professional development for school librarians at things like the County Institute, because I know there's a lot of times when there is nothing available at the County Institute for librarians. It's always something that doesn't apply. I always felt like I was sitting through so much PDH that did not apply to me. So we're going to try to do that. We are also going to try to offer some after-school virtual PDH where you can get on like between 3:30 and 5, and we'll have different programs. I have given her a couple of different options that we can provide. And if you guys have any ideas for that, please let me know, because she was very open to doing that. So if you think of things that you would like to have PDH on, please let me know. I'm always open for ideas. The second thing that is on my agenda and that I just started exploring is that we are going to see about becoming a PDH provider ourselves, authorized by the Illinois State Board of Education to provide PDH for any training or professional development that we provide. We will be able to offer you PDH for. I'm hoping that will, I mean, obviously we'll reach out to school librarians, but I'm hoping that we can also maybe reach some teachers who have been reluctant to partner with school librarians in the past because they don't know what we can do for them, or they just don't know where to start. So I'm hoping that we can have PDH in the future that will maybe get some social studies teachers or some English teachers, or maybe even some science teachers. And my dream is always to be able to help a math teacher, and I've never been able to do that yet. So, so that is where we are with PDH. And I just want you guys to know that it has been harder than I expected to be able to provide you with PDH opportunities, but I absolutely am not giving up. So it is on my radar, and I am working on it, and I hopefully will have some announcements soon. The next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is going to be a very short meeting, so you guys will be free to go do whatever you want to do for the rest of this evening. It's not like you don't have anything to do because it's not almost a major holiday or anything, is advocacy. Because I have had several people contact me in the last 3 weeks or so saying, my superintendent is putting me back in the classroom, and they're just going to have the library open after school, and what can I do? And so I've been talking with several people, and their situations are all different, but it all boils down to the same thing, where they're taking advantage of the fact that their librarians are certified in other areas, moving them out of the library, and then, as usual, making the library the last thing they think about, and just staffing it with whoever they have and whatever, you know, not putting their certified librarian in there, or just putting a different aide in every hour, or, as one of you has spoken to me about, using multiple parent volunteers to run multiple libraries. So I have started putting together some materials that I think speak to the importance of school libraries. There's so much out there, but I know that when it comes up in your job, you are usually blindsided, you weren't expecting it, and you hadn't prepared for it. So I am putting together some advocacy information for anyone who wants it. And most of it I did get from other websites. Like I will always give credit because I'm a librarian, but they come from IHL, they come from AASL, they come from different library organizations in other states, but I do always have that available. But I also wanted to tell you that if you are planning to speak with your administration or with your Board of Education, we are always available to help you with that in any way that we can. And that includes coming to your board meetings if you would like. I know it can be awkward because I know a lot of boards will not let like random people speak. You have to be a member of the community, but I am always happy to come to a board meeting and give you your, just like a little bit of backup, just to have somebody on your side. And I can also help you like plan what you're going to say to your principal or to your superintendent. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows the advocacy is very important to me, and that we're seeing more and more, unfortunately, we're seeing more and more opportunities where we're going to have to advocate. And I feel like we're going to have to constantly advocate in the coming years because money and resources are scarce, and people cut the first thing they can think of that's going to get them yelled at the least. And unfortunately, to this point, I think that's been school libraries. So that is just something I wanted you to know that we have. And we can also put you in touch if you're an IHL member with IHL, because they, I was recently reading that they will write on your behalf to the school board. I think Janine was on here. Is that correct, Janine? She may have gotten off. But I have seen that. So just something to keep in mind. And that is pretty much all I have to say. And now I would like to hear from you guys. Does anybody have anything they want to tell me or ask us or anything? You can turn on your camera so I can see you. I can see Beth, and she's like keeping me going here. She's the only face I can see. Hi, Tammy. And there's Ada and Sarah, and is it Lara or Laura? I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. And Melissa, I'm seeing a bunch of different people. Feel free to, I think you can unmute yourself. Feel free to unmute yourself and say hi, or if anybody has any questions, we'll be glad to take them.
I'll say hello.
Who was that?
This is Ada.
Hi, Ada. How are you doing?
Good. The advocacy is interesting. So I've been trying since pretty much the start of the year to get a slot to speak before our school board, because they have no idea what we do all day. And I said, look, I'm pretty sure you guys don't know what school librarians do all day. A lot of people don't. Let's present. We'll do it as a staff group. It'll be fun. And they've sort of been blocking us from that. They're like, well, no, you can't just schedule. It has to go through like the assistant super, and go through your library media coordinator. I'm like, okay. And so it goes to the assistant superintendent. Like, why? What do you guys want to talk about? We're like, what we do, like other programs do.
Yeah.
And so he's been sitting on that and pretty much avoiding that. And I think it may be because I might be a bit of a loose cannon, and I know this about me. So that's okay, because there's a 3-minute, comment time that every member of the public can come up and comment. And if they don't want to let me do a formal presentation, I can do 3 minutes. I can even do a weekly feature. And next year I get tenure.
Okay. Yes. Tenure is important, isn't it?
So
I always felt that.
Yeah, I have a plan for next year. I can just do a regular slot, like public commenter. Hi, here with your weekly library update, because I am a bit of a loose cannon, and if, that's fine. I'll say what I think if you don't want me to do it nicely.
Here's one thing to consider, and this is how we finally got in front of our school board, is the first time I spoke, I let them see my presentation ahead of time. So they were not worried that I was going to.
And I was happy to do that too.
Okay.
I mean, I might live a bit, but they might know me too well. But no, I make them look good too. That's the issue.
Exactly.
Like, what do you think we're going to do? And I keep reminding, because we had trouble getting, the district PR people or whatever out. I've invited them multiple times. I'm like, hey, we're doing robots in class today. Why don't you come video us? Or, hey, I'm showing kids how to do something really unique with this grant winning, this software we won a grant for. And they would just totally ignore me. And I'm like, guys understand I make our district look good. And I don't think they've computed that, which is sad.
Are you allowed to have your own Twitter account for the library, or do you have to go through the district?
Yeah, it's technically our own. So I do have I need to be better about Twitter. I have my own little TikTok thing, because the kids are like, why aren't you making more videos? We want to follow you videos. And I'm like, I'll work on it, because I do make silly videos about how I'm planning to overthrow the school with my robot of armies, or what school librarians actually do. I'm like, am I playing Wii on the book carts? Am I sitting and planning? So.
Yes, definitely. Like, if they're not going to do it, then you do it. Put yourself out there as much as you can, and have a great TikTok I know it's a lot of work. That's the thing about advocacy. It is a lot of work. So
Yes. So I'm trying to carve out the time. I'm trying to do, well, I have 1,000 things I'm supposed to do anyways. I'm trying to do a tiny bit less teaching this year and a little more of everything else, like all the tech stuff I do and, all the other stuff. So it's a work in progress and trying to do it, a vast majority of it during my contract hours. So
yes, that's one thing that we all have to be better about is working during our contract hours.
yeah, I remind myself though that my job is important. I'm hard to replace. And if I want to do it another 30 years, I better make sure I am not burning out.
Yes,
So,
pace yourself, Ada. Pace yourself. That's what, like, if your vessel is empty, you can't fill anybody else's cup, right? That's what I always heard.
Exactly. And that's very true. I think for all of us in the library where we have this tendency to do more. And I'm one of those people who is a lot and wants to do more. But at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, what's the priority and what can I do sustainably?
Yes, you do have to prioritize. That's hard for me because I want to do everything and I want to do it right now. So that's definitely something I have trouble with. I'm going to jump in here and say Beth has put in the Rev Up Illinois survey from the new Secretary of State-elect, who is asking for everyone's opinion on different areas that the Secretary of State covers. But specifically, he did include libraries, and I was gratified to see that. And I have filled this out already. And my refrain is always that we need a certified librarian in every school. So if you have time, please click on that link and tell the Secretary of State, whose name I cannot pronounce correctly, so I'm not going to try, that we need, just tell them whatever you think about school. You may think something differently than I do, but tell them that the librarians of Illinois are watching him, right? Anything else? Does anybody else out there want to say anything? Everybody's so quiet. All right, so I think we're just about a half hour in here. We're going to wrap it up unless anybody else has anything to say. I want to tell you all that if I don't talk to you, have a wonderful holiday break. I know you are looking forward to it. And I hope you have a great holiday, whatever you celebrate. And please don't forget that we're here for whatever you may need.
Bye,
Bye-bye, everybody.
Have a good holiday, Leah.
Bye. You too, Beth.